We had probably our best year as an athletics program in the longest time, and they almost cut our program. Should I go back to talking about Kyrgyzstan? And they could tell, like, they were like, oh, you're an American. I'm like, well, I'm representing the Philippines. Like, but you don't speak Tagalog, you speak English. And he was like, do you think you're gonna have fans there? And I'm like, no, probably not. And he was like, oh, like, I watch your videos, like, I'm a fan, I watch your videos in Japan. So I was like, no way.
That match was still a really good benchmark to show how much you've improved.
Yeah, bro.
All of a sudden you're on the international scene, and like, that's a crazy jump, but to show that you didn't know, just get teched in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, and it makes it better that it's like, yeah, he's a high-level guy, but at the same time, it's like, it kind of makes it a bit worse too, because it's like, oh, he's a high-level guy, and I could have beaten him. In my mind, I was like, I wanted to make noise, and I wasn't able to do that. Because UWW events are ran so well between the projectors and the 3-4 cameras on the freaking stage. I'm not calling any countries out, but dude, I don't know if everyone in that tournament was under 20. And then after the match, the Uzbekistan coaches were like, he's a good wrestler.
And like, all of a sudden I win my first college open after not ever placing at a college open.
I don't know if you guys know this, Ruben's the only guy on our team that commutes like 30 minutes away from school. I can walk 5 steps and be like, Ruben, podcast now.
Some people think you're still in Japan for some reason.
Dude, okay, people still are asking me, oh, so why are you still at SF State? Like, aren't you committed to Japan? Or like, no, man, Japan as a whole was an amazing experience. I was there for 3 months, and to be honest, like, I just found a new gear for wrestling. It made me really look at wrestling more as a chess match than just a grit grinder, you know? Yo!
What is up, everybody?
HR Department Podcast is back, baby. You can see the sign up there. Let's go. Sorry for going MIA on you guys. We kind of stopped doing the podcast as season started. You know, that is definitely on us, but there was a lot of other things, moving parts that were happening. I mean, for starters, Ruben got called in, had to start for the team, and I went to Japan for 3 months, so I was not here either. But yeah, really happy to get this podcast started and back up. Life updates, what you got? What you got, Ruby?
I mean, I moved in with you.
Dude, this is sick. This is the new place. I'm in my new room. Ruben's room is over there. You guys can't even, like, the light, like that, that's sick. That is sick. HR Department Podcast. We even got the poster from Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. You know, I just came back from the Asia Championships. We'll talk about that later. But, you know, new place, new crib. Ruben is my literal housemate. We were roommates our freshman year. Now we're housemates going into our junior year. Oh, my gosh. We're juniors in college.
We're getting old.
That's crazy. Oh, my gosh. Summer's here as well, so we've been enjoying our summer. Training for me, obviously, I'm about to go to the World Championships in like a month right after Asia, so we'll talk about all that in a little bit. But what you been up to, bro? What you been up to?
Well, you know, had to move in with you.
That was a process.
That was a whole process. We're still not fully done. Like, we're still a little unfurnished, but
I mean, like, the boy Xander, he's our other roommate. We got the 3 of us. He's still in Hawaii, so I mean, he might watch this, he might not, but his room is currently storage. Sorry to tell you, brother, over the pod. He's coming in August, so we have a lot of our stuff in his room right now. We're slowly taking it out and moving it around. But yeah, I really like our new place. This place is nice. It's really homey, and best part of it all, rent is cheap, and in SF that is in short supply. But yeah,
definitely. So, how's your summer been? You know, we know you went to Kyrgyzstan, so
yeah.
Explain us that.
Oh my God. Well, okay. I guess I can start from the beginning, like with the whole Philippines thing. So I'm on the Philippines national team, world team for U20s right now. I'm actually going to go compete for the senior spot as a 19-year-old. I'm about to go compete for the senior spot August 30th. So that's going to be after the World Championships, but went to Kyrgyzstan, got to compete for the Philippines. Great opportunity for me, something I'm very grateful for. Very happy and blessed just to step foot on the mat, bro, because to be honest, I mean, dude, I haven't wrestled in 7 months. That was my first wrestling match in 7 months, so it was like just a really, in my eyes, competing for the Philippines, competing internationally for the first time. So many bucket list items checked off in that one trip. And the trip almost didn't happen. which I don't know. Did I tell you about that?
No, you didn't.
Oh my! Well, we're really we're on the pod. The trip almost didn't happen because, to be honest, the time frame was so short. I mean, I had this under wraps too. I guess I can say it now, but I got injured in May. Not gonna say what, but I got injured in May. So I was actually gonna go to the SEA games in Singapore, or championships in Singapore, which is the Southeast Asia Championships. That got botched because I got injured, and then moving into June, July, where there was the Asia Championships, it almost didn't happen because of logistical issues, but also like in terms of payments and getting everything sorted. Where I was, where our school was as a program, that was the big thing. I guess you want to talk about that for a second? Like, we can just dive right into that.
Yeah.
But, like, basically, the trip almost didn't happen. I almost didn't go to Asia. And it was in large part due to all the moving parts that were happening. And a large part of that was the fact that SF State, as an entire athletics program, was almost cut.
All the sports.
All the sports, not just wrestling, not just a few sports. The entire athletics program almost got cut in a very similar fashion to Sonoma State. Hopefully, all their athletes are doing fine and well. I mean, that was really tough to see that happen to not our sister school, but like a school that is pretty close to us in California.
And that we compete with.
Yeah, it was really crazy hearing that. And the craziest part was I was in Japan at the time.
Yeah.
When all this was going on, you were in season, I was in Japan, and I'm sitting there like, are you kidding me? Like, our program's about to get cut? And it wasn't just ours. The entire SF State athletics program. That's insane to think about. Do you know how many athletes there are on this campus? Like, we are a D2 wrestling program that just had a national champ. We had a volleyball program that just made the national finals. We've had multiple other sports like softball who were in the rankings for the first time in a while. We had probably our best year as an athletics program in the longest time, and they almost cut our program.
And they actually did cut some of them.
They did.
They cut 4 teams.
Or 3. Was it 4 or 3? They cut...
It's weird. They want to consider women's track one, but they cut like certain events only.
It's bull crap, and I feel really bad for the athletes that did get their programs cut. I mean, obviously, we have friends that are in some of those. Mm-hmm. It was rough, and the craziest part was I wasn't even here. I was in Japan when all this was going down. And I was just getting word from Jason, who's our coach, and he was just like, yeah, this might be happening.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
After season, like when we were like not sure if we were going to be here, we ended up having to like not even have practice. Like during practice time, so we would just meet up and like tell people to like, you know, like voice your opinion, like fill out the survey to help us make it look good, and like
we did this for like 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks straight, which were supposed to be purely for training. And that's, again, that leads into the reason why, like, we're even sure I was going to go to Asia because of everything that was going on. We didn't have a proper training schedule most of the off-season after post. So, crazy. That happened. That was a pretty big moment for us. But I'm really glad between all the athletes, especially, I don't want to say the wrestling team did the most, but I feel like the wrestling, like SF State wrestling as a whole, was out there every day.
Yeah,
every day,
every like meeting and every like having people fill out surveys to help us like stay and like hopefully, and it worked out. So
yes, 100%. And just shout out to our athletics program as a whole, because like I'm not sure if this played a part. I'm sure it did to a degree. I think really us voicing our opinion and doing all the things we did during that month span really is what made the biggest impact. But like, dude, Johnny becoming a national champ, us being ranked in the country as a team, the women's volleyball team going really far, the softball team going really far. It was like, if those things didn't happen collectively as a group, maybe we don't have an athletics program this year. Mm-hmm. You know, like let's say all our sports did crap this year, we might not have an athletics program. But shout out to the athletics program at SF State. We clutched up, and shout out to all the athletes as well, and shout out to the students, because they are what made the difference in the end. The people that signed the survey that said to keep athletics on campus, thank you guys, because honestly, we wouldn't have a home if it wasn't for you guys. So greatly appreciated. Yeah, we kind of went on a tangent there. Should I
Okay,
go back to talking about Kyrgyzstan?
All right, tell me
Yeah.
about how your weight cut was and how you felt
Oh
when
my
compared to.
gosh, brother. So, if you guys don't know, I haven't cut weight since my senior year in high school. You were there.
Mm-hmm.
That was miserable making 113s, but basically, this is my first time actually having a cut for a tournament in a while. If you guys don't know, I started for the team at 125 my freshman year, but I wasn't really cutting weight. Like you saw me, like it's funny that I was the same weight at those my freshman year and this year, and I just look completely different.
You're a lot
like
more filled in.
way more filled in, way more like lean and shredded. I feel like it's just a bit of that baby fat that you lose your freshman year as well.
Yeah, you're
That
also
definitely helped.
a 13-pounder before trying to go up to 25.
Trying to go up to 25s, exactly. I agree. The cut itself, the process. I mean, you were with me at here. Like, I was very, very dialed in the entire time. I felt like this is probably one of the best weight cuts I've ever had. I was really disciplined all the way through. I actually knew how to cut weight as well, just being in college and seeing the guys and kind of learning from them as well. It was a really good weight cut. The diet was pretty freaking hard. I'd say that was the hardest part, like starting a month and a half out and then really dieting down. I would say that I started at around 135 to 140, like very fluctuating around that range. And then I was able to, by the end of that period, I was putting in like around 1,500 to 2,000 calories a day, and I was burning around 3,000. So I was at a pretty good calorie deficit. And I think by the end of it, I was walking at like 129, 130. So by that end portion, that last week, I only had to cut like 4 pounds of water.
That's not
which
bad.
which is like, if you're a wrestler, you know that's pretty freaking, that's not hard. That's one practice with, sweats on. That was really nice. I'd say the discipline I had going into it was really, really necessary, because if I didn't take those steps to make sure the cut was as easy as possible leading up to that last week, I think I wouldn't have felt as good, wouldn't have performed as like, didn't feel, I just wouldn't have felt as good on the day, and I felt great on the day. So yeah, it was a good weight cut, I would say. Making 125s again was a mission, though. I'm not gonna lie, that was rough. You saw my face; it was crazy.
It was super sunken in.
Super sucked in. It was, and that was a super sucked in like 2-3 weeks out too. Like just like yeah, but it was good.
That's awesome. How was the travel to Kyrgyzstan?
Dude, it was rough. So if you guys don't know, there's not a direct flight from United States to Kyrgyzstan. You have to take a layover. So the going there is a 15-hour flight, but it's not direct. So it's United States to Dubai. You end in Dubai. That's a 15 hours, and then you have another 4 or 5 hour flight to Kyrgyzstan from Dubai. So in total, it's like a 20-hour travel.
Damn.
Yeah.
Did you feel like jet lagged at all, or like?
Dude, surprisingly, no. That was probably one of the things that shocked me the most. That first practice back in Kyrgyzstan, having traveled for basically 2 days between layovers and everything, not bad at all. I felt really good. Like, I felt surprisingly good. Like, to the point, like, after the practice, I was like, Angela, I don't know why, but, like, let's go a bit longer so I can keep this sweat going, because right now I'm honestly feel really good, really fresh. And I don't know why that was. Like, I honestly, I've been trying to figure that out, because I want to replicate that coming into future tournaments and having those layovers, having those long flights. I want to replicate that, but yeah, I was blessed. That was something I wasn't expecting. I was expecting to feel crap that first practice in, because that's usually how it is for traveling. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that flight was brutal. And then on the way back, we had a layover in Chicago. That was cool. We almost missed our flight in Dubai. That was bad. But yeah.
How was the community there at the tournament, being like the only American? What was it like socializing with everyone else?
It was interesting because so obviously I was representing the Philippines, but I speak English, and they could tell, like, they were like, oh, you're an American. I'm like, well, I'm representing the Philippines, though. I'm a Filipino American. I'm like, it was like, not imposter, but they're like, but you don't speak Tagalog, you speak English. And I'm like, yeah, I train and wrestle in the United States, but I have blood in the Philippines, I have family in the Philippines, residency and all that. So I was just like, I can compete for the Philippines, right? So, but it was interesting. They were kind of like, not really. Yeah. It was a cool dynamic, though. I'd say the craziest thing is, so it was funny. Angelo and I were exiting the flight. Angelo was my coach at the Asia Championships, and he was like, "Do you think you're gonna have fans there?" And I'm like, "No, probably not. I mean, I don't have like a targeted audience in Kyrgyzstan." And then literally upon entry into the hotel, which is like the UWW hotel where it hosts all the athletes and like the volunteers and everyone, a guy comes up to me, Yursvik, I remember your name, and he was like, "Oh, like I watch your videos, like I'm a fan. I watch your videos in Japan." And he's like, he asked for me for a picture, and he just so happened to also be my volunteer. So I was like, "No way!" And like me and Angela are like, "Okay, I guess I do." And then throughout the tournament, throughout like the 5 days we were there, I was having like wrestlers come up to me from like Korea, Japan, just some like not like the coaches, but like the athletes coming up to me asking for pictures. And it was really funny because like they don't speak English, so they'd just be like, "Picture please." And it was the funniest and like cutest thing ever, but at the same time there's this big ass freaking like filled one probably like a 74 kg guy asking for a picture. I'm like, yeah, I'll take a picture with you. Like I'm like sucked in 57 kg guy, and this huge like Korean guy comes. I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll take a picture with you, dude."
That's hella funny.
No, it was awesome, and I honestly was like a very humbling experience, very very mind blowing, because I did not think I was reaching that part of the world. I knew I was reaching like some parts of Asia, because when I went to Japan, I had some people that were watching my videos when I was traveling to university, which was cool. But that was definitely an interesting experience, awesome experience. It was not a bad experience. Yeah.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
What was your mindset, and how do you feel about how it was conditioned for the tournament?
Oh yeah, it was probably in the best place it's ever been pre-tournament, like before a match, going into the match, during the match. I would definitely say because it's such a high level tournament, like this is the highest level tournament I've ever been in, so it was like kind of like I knew that everyone there was good. Like, put it simply, like these guys are the number one or number two guy in their country. Some of them even on the senior level. Like the Uzbekistan kid, I'm pretty sure was the number two guy on the senior level. The only other person, the number one guy, is Abdullayev, who, I mean, we know he wrestled for Menlo, but he also took bronze at the Olympics in Spencer Lee's bracket. So it's very, very crazy just seeing the levels there. But also, like, mindset-wise, when I'm in that tournament, I wasn't thinking about, like, how good these guys were. I was thinking, like, every person here is good. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm just going to go out and wrestle. I know how good I am. And at the end of the day, if I had that mindset of, like, oh my God, like, this guy's like placed at this and this guy placed at that, it's like, that's just a terrible, I feel like you can get just sunken into a hole that way really quickly. I was truly under the mindset, it's like, I don't care if I draw Japan, I don't care if I draw India, I don't care if I draw Korea. Like, I'm going out there and I'm wrestling hard and I know how to wrestle. I know how to wrestle. That was like what I was going through in my head constantly, because I feel like there's always that doubt in your head. It's like, you don't belong here. Like, how did you even get here? Like, you're not even that good at wrestling. There's always doubt. And if you say that there isn't, you're lying to yourself. It's a very human thing to doubt your abilities and to have that fear in the back of your head. But it's important to outrun that voice. And that's something that actually Jason talks about a lot. Filling your head with positive thoughts and positive affirmations. And that's basically what I was doing the entire tournament, saying that it was my time and it was my time to go. And obviously, things didn't pan out my way. Obviously, I lost to Uzbekistan 4-1, RIP. But all things considered, I really did feel dialed in for this tournament. I don't think my loss is a great representation of how dialed in I was and where my mind was at during this tournament. Obviously, like, he is a high level guy, but at the end of the day, like, I do feel like that was a match that I could have won. Where my head was at, where my wrestling was at, just small things, tactics. That was a big thing, tactics, freestyle tactics that I wasn't aware of that I need to start learning. And I'm glad that I had this experience leading to Worlds, because now I know those small things that he was doing. Yeah, like the freaking hand thing. I didn't even know that. Like, these international wrestlers, and I wasn't aware of this. Ruben was telling me. So basically, they will keep their hand open like this. and then they'll purposely stuff it when you're going for a tie-up, and they'll start shaking like this to act like you're like trying to interlock fingers, and the ref will warn you. And I was like, what the hell? So then I started doing it back, and the ref called me. And I was like, okay, this is bullcrap. So that was interesting. There's other things, too, within the match. But, I mean, he was a tough kid. He took me down twice with, like, a duck to a double type motion. The first one I stuffed, kind of got to a single leg position. He hit a nice little, like, cross wrist pull. Took me down. Second one, he got a clean one on me where I dug an underhook, but he was already under, so I just gave up the takedown. And then I got a push out with like 6 seconds left off a double, and then a follow up. And then the second period was literally like just scoreless. Like we were shooting, but him more than me, to be honest. But I was just kind of constantly forward pressure. But in reality, he was doing a really good job of just holding good position and kind of taking the opportunity to get to my leg when it was available, and he would just sit there. Like he was just stalling, like not looking to score, I would feel like. And there were at the start of the second, like he did shoot a really good shot that he got me elevated on. But another thing is they'll twist your ankle. Like I'll probably, like, if I clip this, I'll put a picture or video or something. He like put me in a heel hook. Like it was crazy.
Your
and
ankle was like
my
inverted.
ankle was inverted. My toe was pointing down on the mat. Like, thank God I have flexible ankles, because if not, I probably would have torn my MCL. Like it was nasty. Like I remember looking at it in the match thinking, do I give up this takedown? Like this is really bad. But I didn't give up the takedown. I fought through it, was able to hold good defense, and then we got a reset, and he was tired as hell. Yeah. So I was like, okay, this is where I start to put on the pace. Held good position. I needed to move him a bit more, and that's the adjustment I had to make, looking back at it, talking with Jason and everything like that, talking with you too, doing some film review. But, you know, all things considered, like, not happy with how I did, but can't take anything away from him. Like, he wrestled a great match. He's a good high-level wrestler. I mean, he took second at the Asia Games last year at U20s too, so he's a good wrestler. Not saying, like, I'm not trying to badmouth him in any way. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I just know where I was at wrestling-wise, how much I've improved, and I know where I was at in that tournament. I feel like I should have beaten him, and woulda, shoulda, coulda, but that's where my mind's at right now. I'm going to make those small adjustments, come back for Worlds. Hopefully I draw him again. That would be nice. But, yeah.
That match was still a really good benchmark to show how much you've improved, because think about like your last accolades,
dude.
Like,
yeah.
what, just wrestling, you know, some random D2 tournaments.
Yeah, bro.
All of a sudden you're on the international scene, and like that's a crazy jump. But to show that you didn't know, just get teched in like 30 seconds.
Yeah,
that's still a huge improvement.
Yeah, it's funny though. That's what a lot of the like my family was saying that a lot, like my coaches. But it was like, I agree with that, and I appreciate them saying that, and it's true. But at the same time, it's like it's so frustrating being there and just like knowing that I really feel like I could have won that match. And it makes it better that it's like, yeah, he's a high-level guy, but at the same time, it's like, it kind of makes it a bit worse, too, because it's like, oh, he's a high-level guy, and I could have beaten him. Like, it was right there. I just need to get to my attacks a bit more in that second, but yeah, no, it is kind of a crazy jump. That's probably that is like the highest-level guy I've wrestled.
That's valid.
Yeah, right. I feel like, right? Like, have I wrestled anyone?
See, it's hard to like
gauge,
right?
Because
that's like they don't
freestyle wise, 100%.
Yeah.
Freestyle wise, 100%. A wrestler as a whole, I mean, I don't know. I feel like like I have to say yeah. But yeah, I do agree. It does show the jumps I've made, and I knew I've made big jumps. Like just between being in the room now versus before I left for Japan. Like I felt the difference in how I was wrestling. Felt the difference in me getting to my attacks, holding better position. I knew where I was at, and that's why I was so confident during this turn as well. I was like, I know how to wrestle now. Like, I know how to wrestle. I was, like, in that tournament thinking that the entire time, like, this is a new me. And I'm pissed off because, like, yeah, like, you could say I showed it, but in my mind, I was like, I wanted to make noise, and I wasn't able to do that. And that's the way the cookie crumbles, man. And I'm hoping to come back stronger for Worlds. I'm going to make the adjustments I need to make this month. And then obviously after Worlds, make the adjustments I need to make for after Worlds, leading into the Philippines national tournament. make the adjustments for the national NCAA season. It's just a process. It's a journey, and I'm really glad to have gone to this tournament, all things considered. Yeah.
That's great. I saw the video of you walking through that tunnel, you know, talk about like the experience of like having someone hold your
Oh my
ear.
God, dude. It was crazy. That was like, I talked to Mancini about this, and he was like, Coach Mancini, shout out Coach. He is now coached in the NCAA finals for D2 at least. And he said it was a more electric and exciting feeling walking out that tunnel and coaching at the World Championships at a UWW event. That's important, UWW event, than in the NCAA finals, which is crazy to say, right? It's a crazy thing. But being there, I completely understand it, because UWW events are ran so well. Like, I had never been to a UWW event, obviously, until now. It is night and day. Like, not hating on American events, but UWW runs their stuff well. It was crazy. Between the projectors and the 3-4 cameras on the freaking stage, and the walkout that we have, the person that's holding your stuff on the way there, because they don't want you wearing stuff, like you're only supposed to be in a singlet walking up to the stage, so they have everything in a basket for you, and a kid walks down with you with the basket along with your coach. The coach has a little corner to coach, and it has a buzzer button to challenge. Like, it's so crazy. It's so cool. The graphics as well for the entire tournament. The what are the screens called? What are the
Jumbotron.
Yeah,
right?
the Jumbotron, like how they run the event, the hype building during the event. It's just so cool. It was such a surreal experience. I honestly am so glad I went. I can't wait to do more. There's only so much there's only like so I've only done so little. You know, like I've done so like I've touched one tournament. I can't wait to go to Worlds. I can't wait to go to the SEA games. I can't wait to go to U23s, seniors, the Olympics. Like, imagine going to all these tournaments and experiencing all these different things. It's like, this was my first taste of a UWW event. This was my first taste of international wrestling. I'm just so excited to get more. I'm like addicted to the feeling. It's awesome. It was an awesome feeling. It was surreal. Wish I performed a bit better, you know, but can't complain. Can't complain on the experience. I'm only gonna get better from this.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you want to explain how we got this little poster next to our sign right here?
Okay, long story short, we were eyeing these posters out the entire time, because there's like probably we saw probably 100 different posters across both the event center, the hotel, the airport we were flying into. So it was a pretty big, like, it was a Kyrgyzstan event, so they wanted to show it off, you know? And I was realizing, like, it says 2025, like, somewhere on there. Or it says welcome to Bishkek. U15, U20 Asia Championships has the sponsors and everything. They will most likely throw these posters away, because it's exclusive to the event. They're not going to do the same thing. There's going to be different colors. There's going to be different sponsors, right? So I was like, realistically, I could probably get one of these posters. I just got to ask. So we asked. And we got one of the posters. And I'm thinking I start a collection. So I'll put the World's one up over there, and then maybe another one right here. Or maybe medals right here. Maybe I'll put like a stand or something.
That sounds
like
fire.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Right? That's a pretty, like, dude, that's a sick poster.
It's a little empty right now, but like it's gonna slowly.
It's gonna,
fill
yeah.
up.
We'll fill it up. There's also here. Let me grab it real quick. Shout out, my host Yurzik. He got me a kapak, which is basically the cultural like hat in Kyrgyzstan. This is dope. This is so cool. It is basically like the Habib, like, thing, basically. Yeah. But you know, has its own flair to it. Honestly, this one's pretty dope. This is so cool. This is probably my favorite thing I got, to be honest. Oh, yeah. This thing right here. But yeah, shout out. I'll probably put that on a thing too, to be honest. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
give us a little more, you know, information on how it was like having your homie as your coach.
Oh my gosh, Angelo. He's been my coach since I've known you. Mm-hmm. So he was coaching me in high school. Angelo Reyes. He wrestled for San Francisco State. He was an alumni. Started for us. Born and raised locally here. it was awesome. So he actually made the Philippines team when he was in college for SF State. He was like that first gen that went to the Philippines and wrestled off for SF State. And he never got his opportunity to go to the Asia Championships. He would have actually been the first, but COVID hit.
Damn.
So first of all, he never finished his college career because he got his degree in 4 and then dipped, right? Never got to wrestle for the Philippines even though he was on the national team.
Damn.
So yeah, it was his first time coaching at a UWW event like that. My first time wrestling in one. It was a really like full circle moment. It was really cool. I'm really, really glad it was Angelo. He was with me through every workout. He was doing the workouts with me. Like, he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do the freaking 5K with me when I'm cutting weight and miserable. He didn't have to go in the sauna with me, but he did that. And that just shows the type of coach he is.
How far have you guys come as like your dynamic when you first met him as a coach in high school and like now like?
It is interesting because he was definitely like Coach Angelo. Now it's more of just Angelo. Like, he's a big brother to me. And I feel like that is probably in large part due to my progression in the sport, but also because I feel like we formed a different type of bond past, me being in high school, now me going into my 3rd year in college. He's always been like a big brother to me. Like, he wasn't that really old school coach. And now he really is like a big brother to me. Like, took me on this trip, did everything with me. But it's like he is still my coach at the end of the day. Like, I'll still always say he was my coach. Mm-hmm. He is my coach. Yeah. But the dynamic change is very when he was in the corner, I was like, I've never heard him yell this loud ever. It was crazy. Like, I was listening, I'm like, jeez, he really wants me to win this match. like it was so crazy. Yeah. Shout out LJ as well. LJ, I'm not sure if you'll watch this. LJ was a co-founder of Tri-Titans.
Oh, damn.
But he was actually at the turn as well. He was supporting me. He was up in like the booths with all the higher up guys. It was funny. So he was actually with Uzbekistan while my match was going on. So like I mentioned before, I was wrestling Uzbekistan's representative, and he was recording me while cheering me on right next to the Uzbekistan like vice president and everything. And then after the match, the Uzbekistan coaches were like, "He's a good wrestler." He's like, "Yeah, it's his first international tournament." They're like, "Oh, wow." They were like, because I'm pretty sure they were not expecting me to be that good. Like, I was the only SEA country representative there.
Who's this guy from the Philippines?
Yeah, exactly. Like, Southeast Asian guy. Like, what is he doing here? Like, you guys never come. Mm-hmm. And I mean, yeah, they're right. We the Southeast Asia countries typically never go to the Asia Championships or World Championships because they are not developed wrestling wise as these other countries. So to them, it's not a waste of money, but it's like, we're not at that level yet. We're not at that level yet. So to them, it doesn't make sense to go. So the Uzbekistan probably saw Philippines. It's like, what the hell? We're gonna smoke this guy. Yeah. Didn't happen, but you guys still got the dub, so good job. But that was pretty cool to hear that from LJ, that they were like, oh yeah, that was a good match. He's pretty good. But yeah.
Anything else you want to touch on this trip, or?
I'm not calling any countries out. I want to make that perfectly clear. Okay? Not calling anyone out. It might just be because I'm young, I look young, and other people look a bit older than me. But dude, I don't know if everyone in that tournament was under 20. Like, some of them looked old, bro. Like, maybe they just hit puberty hard, but like, bro, some of them I was like, what the hell? Like, there was a guy in my bracket, I forget from what country, but I was like, there's no way you're 20. You look like you have a job with a wife and kids. Like, it was crazy. But yeah, I don't know if I really want to touch on that subject just because I don't want like I'm not here to cause any drama. But I was very surprised when I was like, this is an under 20 event? Like, these guys do not look 20, bro. It was crazy, but yeah.
Hell yeah.
But how have you been, bro?
I've been doing all right,
How is it, bro? Okay, so we stopped after season. We stopped doing the podcast after season. We're gonna try to continue pump out a bit more episodes for you guys. But if you guys don't know, Ruben started for us. Ruben had a season. At his first season out of his red shirt. How'd that go, bro?
Well, it kind of started out as Jason Welch, our coach, telling me, we want you starting at 149s. And at the time, I was descending down to 141s because that's what I did my redshirt year.
Yeah.
And I was like, I guess he thinks I'm ready, so time to step up, and I ended up starting, in like a lot of duels and having some big wins for the team. And overall, it was like a really great experience. Like, it kind of made me realize, if you don't cut an absurd amount of weight, you kind of just wrestle better.
It's crazy you say that because it's almost like I've been saying that for the past 4 years to you.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. Wow. No, I think credit to you, bro. Like, Ruben, I would say, I mean, obviously, the season didn't end the way you wanted it to, but I would say you had your breakout season where you actually realized, like, hey, I can wrestle. Because I feel like before it was other people telling you, like, no, bro, like, you can wrestle, you can beat these guys. Not that you didn't believe it, but the results weren't really showing. And I'd say it was in large part due to your weight cut and maybe a bit of your mindset. And this year, you were showing out. I mean, you beat the Southern Oregon kid during the dual meet, clutched that one up in, like, OT.
I won my first college open.
You won your first college open. You ran through that college open. You majored the kid in the finals.
Granted, it wasn't like the toughest. It was like D3, D2, and like a NCWA. But like, there were some solid guys. They were in shape. Some of them knew how to wrestle. I had to actually show up. But yeah. It's kind of crazy because like, that was after I lost my wrestle off, and like
you were really like
I was in a state where I just like didn't care anymore.
Yeah.
But like the more I didn't care, the more I just thought to myself, I'm just here to have fun, with my boys.
Yeah.
And like I just kind of like took every match as like, let's just like go have fun and compete. And like all of a sudden I win my first college open after not ever placing at a college open, and it was just like a crazy eye opener. Like, maybe I am that good. Like, shit.
No, yeah, dude. Like, you don't give yourself, like, I've always said this, like, he doesn't give himself enough credit. Like, you know how to wrestle, and I feel like this year you really saw that in the season. I feel like that happens, though. Like, you either build tremendous confidence during a season or you have, like, an ego crush during a season. Like, I've seen that happen on both spectrums. Mm-hmm. I feel like I've kind of experienced both. But honestly, it's more of like a confidence booster having that experience under your belt and really having trust in your offense and knowing that you're a good wrestler. But yeah, dude, I'm really proud of you. That was awesome. I didn't get to witness everything because obviously I was in Japan. But
I was texting you. I was keeping you.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it was awesome. Got to start for the team, bro. That's a big deal. Mm-hmm. Also, I want you to show off your tattoo because I feel like that. I feel like that was definitely something that we need to touch on. It's so sick. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I'm probably never gonna get a tattoo in my life. But I saw Ruben's. Here, get it. Yeah.
Let me just stand right in front of it. So you got a little forearm sleeve. Right here is Icarus from Greek mythology. For those of you that know, he flew too close to the sun, even though his dad told him not to, and as he fell to his death because his wings melted, he smiled as he was falling because he says he rather would have flew than to not have ever flown. That's like kind of how I try to live my life.
Yeah, that's a pretty fire. See, you thought it out right. Like, you weren't one of those guys that got a tattoo just...
I need a tattoo, bro. I need it for the aura.
Dang, and then you wake up and you're like, crap, what have I done? That's on my body for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
No, that's fire. Don't know if you want to touch on this. You kind of got...
Yeah. It was in April after season. I was training, training as hard as I can till so I could start next year.
Yeah, bro.
And I was honestly progressing at a crazy rate. People was telling me, hey, you don't feel stiff anymore. You actually wrestling the flow. And then all of a sudden I have a pretty bad injury that everyone's telling me you're gonna be out for 12 months maybe. Like, you're gonna need surgery. You're gonna need this and that. And I don't want to say exactly what it is, but it did put me in a little rut. I was working 20 hours a week, so I could move out with you.
Yeah, and also just like distracting yourself, probably, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, this was like before the injury.
Oh, you're talking. Okay.
Yeah, before the injury, I was working 20 hours a week. I was, taking 17 units for engineering classes, and and then grinding to start next year, and all of a sudden boom, that just derailed my goals, And it was that shit. I'm not gonna lie, that hit hard. Like having to stop everything I was working so hard for. It made me have to think who am I without
wrestling.
Yeah, without wrestling, without not even just like being able to achieve what I want to achieve.
Goal to chase.
Yeah, exactly. Like being like almost. I got the tattoo like the day 2 days before it happened, which is kind of ironic because Icarus fell. And it was almost like me falling from the sun. Like I chased my ambition so hard. Yeah, so that whole thing was super ironic to think about. But ultimately, it made me kind of like reflect and like make myself more than a wrestler. Like surround myself with like a support system and being able to take my mind off it. And then next thing you know, like I'm being told I don't need surgery, which is like super rare for like
very rare.
For everything
I was
that
super surprised. I was like, you need to sue or something, because I was like, what do you mean?
I went through like a little crisis at first because when the doctor was like, you don't need surgery, I thought they were like giving up on me. They were like,
yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. I was like, hell no. I was like,
for real.
But
like, yeah, ultimately I'm 2.5 months post injury now, and in my like in 80% of cases, people would still like not have full mobility.
Probably like 90, bro.
Yeah, but somehow I'm able to wrestle with you, and like
dude.
drill and stuff and lift weights and everything. So
yeah, today was his first lift back.
Yeah, like lift with my team.
Yeah, like not like go to the gym by yourself. It's like he did like an athletic lift with us, like with Chelsea. Shout out Chelsea, strength and conditioning coach. You look great. Like I was honestly like, there's no way he's injured because he looks great right now. And then you also wrestled today with me for the first time in the SF room in a minute, since your injury. So that was cool. Thank you for doing that.
Of course.
But yeah.
So yeah, I had like this whole expectation I was gonna have surgery and like be out for a year, but now that I'm progressing really fast, I could wrestle next year, but I would still be 80%, So
I don't know. I think you could. You honestly could with how well you're progressing, but with like, with the red shirt and then possibly wanting to stay an extra.
Yeah.
You may possibly gray shirting. That might be the move, especially since definitely. Like. I'm not saying like. Our weights are deep right now. It's like someone's gonna have to sit out. When it comes time to like. Choose a starter, and it's like I would rather have you at 100% and start next year than you possibly get injured or possibly lose the wrestle off or something because you're not at 100.
When I could have just taken the time to rehab
exactly
for a year in gray shirt, which is
I think the worst thing that could possibly happen is you try to wrestle this season
and re-dislocate
and then it's fucking you're set back again. Like imagine that happens during like a tournament or the fucking wrestle off, like that would be terrible.
Yeah.
Like I would honestly feel for you. I'd be like, oh my god, you should have just taken the gray shirt. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, how is? Let's get off this topic. This is kind of getting depressing.
I know.
You moved out, bro. Like, you want to talk about that? The whole process behind that, like everything that's gone into it. Because I don't know if you guys know this. Ruben's the only guy on our team that commutes like 30 minutes away from school.
Yeah.
Which is like honestly a lot of the team has a lot of respect for him because, dude, we have lifts in the morning at like 6, 7. Ruben has to wake up earlier because he lives farther away.
Yeah, and it was mentally draining because then I would like wake up to go to lift at 7 a.m., stay at class all day because I don't have any breaks during my classes, and then straight into practice at 2:30, and then I would be done at like 5, get home at like 6.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, living here is gonna be so nice for you. Like I'm so glad you decided to make the move. And again, rent is cheap here. We're not paying SF rent. SF rent is freaking crazy. I already did a year of that. I'm not going back to it. But yeah. Also, we got a chill house too. Like I feel like this is the ideal house for us.
It's very homey. And
yeah, between the three of us and like the place we got, it's like we're very, very more, like we're more laid back on the team. I feel like we don't really, like we're not. I mean, I'm extroverted, but like it's not like we're all kind of keep to ourselves type of people that can like just chill in our room and like do our own things. Like we're very much like focused on, how do I put this? I don't want to bash on any of the other guys. That's the thing. Like I'm not trying to like, diss any of the other guys, but I feel like all three of us have a very common mindset.
We all also respect our own like our peace and like our own personal time.
Yeah.
In a sense, because I do see the dynamic of a lot of other houses, and I mean that's them, but like they're always like, going in each other's rooms and just like messing around. And like, yeah, but like we're like, you know, we're like, fuck, we need our space. We need our little.
Yeah, and we're all also very like academically focused too. Again, not dissing on our teammates. It's not what we're trying to say. But like we all very much like care for our academics. Like you're obviously in, what are you, biomedical engineering? Or
Yeah, well that's mechanical engineering bio minor.
Dang.
Some of those a little more sophisticated.
Yeah. We got freaking Xander, who just won the scholarship for Lars Jensen, so shout out him too.
For real.
And then you got me, who's in business.
But look at everything you have on your plate. You're not just
Yeah.
a regular business major that just, you know, claims to
True.
be an entrepreneur. You actually are like.
I'm working towards it. Yeah. But, I mean, dude, I'm very glad to have you in the house. This is going to be awesome. It's going to be way more easy to create content, too.
For real.
Like, that's what I mean. This podcast, like, he used to have to drive, like, 45 minutes.
Now we're just right here to
I'm going to, I can walk 5 steps and be like, Ruben, podcast, now.
Yeah.
We bump one out and then, bang, post it. So I'm super hyped for that. Dynamic's going to be good, I feel like. We're all chillers. It's going to be nice. And, not to mention, if we do want to hang out with the homies, they're 6 minutes, a 6-minute walk away.
Yeah.
Not 6-minute car ride, they're 6-minute walk away. Scary, but fun at the same time. It's going to be a fun season. But yeah, it's going to be good. What else we got? Frick.
Let's see.
Let's check the list.
Yeah.
Let's check the battery, too. We're good on battery.
Nice.
Japan.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I'll make a separate podcast for that because I know a lot of you guys have a lot of questions you guys want to ask. That was something that was really requested.
Some people think you're still in Japan for some reason.
Dude, okay, that's another thing. I made like a post, it was an April Fool's post.
Yeah.
People still are asking me, oh, so why are you still at SF State? Like, aren't you committed to Japan? Or like, are you still in Japan? Or like, oh, my cousin thought I was still in Japan and committed to that school. I was like, what?
Hella people around here too, where they're like I say that I'm living with you. They're like, wait, he's still in America? Like, what's going on?
Or he's back in America? Like, yeah, no, dude. I was like, I guess I shouldn't. The April Fool's joke was fire, though. Come on, that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was one of the best ones.
Dude, I was like, I got a lot of people. I got, like, my family.
Oh, yeah, they were probably tripping out, too.
They were like, what the heck? Apparently, like, Finn and Ken are my brother and sister. They were in school when I posted it. And, like, their friends were coming up to them, like, your brother's leaving California? He's going to live in Japan and wrestle in Japan? And they're like, what? There's no way.
Yeah.
But that was pretty funny. No, man, Japan as a whole was an amazing experience. I was there for 3 months, and I formed a lot of connections, made a lot of friends, wrestled every day, walked probably like 15,000 steps a day because everything you do there is walking.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, like I just found a new gear for wrestling. It made me really look at wrestling more as a chess match than just a grit grinder, you know, like, cause you know my coach. I mean, shout out Deuce, but Deuce was from Iowa, classic Iowa coach. Trained under Dan Gable, trained under Dave Schultz, and man, like I was taught most of my high school because I started like at 13 years old. Mm-hmm. I only knew Iowa style wrestling, which is basically just freaking go at someone until they break.
Super old school.
Super old school, and it works. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, you can attest to this. I really needed to work on my fundamentals.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was getting better my sophomore year, but I feel like Japan was like, it almost like sped that process up for me. Mm-hmm. And I learned so much about like just subtle things and the Japan technique that everyone, you know, like thinks is really, really special. I'm not saying, okay, Japan as a country is really good at wrestling. And I think they're the #1 country right now in terms of wrestling. That might be a hot take. But everyone around the world puts them on a pedestal of, they have a secret. They have a secret over there. Kind of like Penn State. Yeah. You know, it's like they must be doing something really secret. Like some sort of like, something that they're doing is just, that's how they're doing it. You know, that's why they're so good. Similar to the Kung Fu Panda movie, there's no secret ingredient. They train in a slightly different way, but there's no prominent difference. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'd say the biggest changes I would say in training over there is they do a lot of live, they do a lot of sparring. They have longer practices with a bit shorter, a bit lower intensity, but like when they go sparring, it is pretty hard. And they're extremely disciplined. I'd say that's and then they switch partners every 5 minutes, I would say. There's also, I think this is something that people don't really think about. So if I were to tell you, hey, the Penn State guys are going to go train with Ohio State, what would your reaction be to that?
They're trying to get better.
They're trying to get better, right? They're trying to get better, but is that the norm? Would you ever see that in America?
Oh, yeah, honestly.
No. No way.
Yeah.
Like, that would never happen. Not even under, like, their RTCs. You would never see that.
Unless they break away from the RTC.
Unless they break away and they transition to another school, right? In Japan, these guys are training with the other schools. So, like, when I went to Waseda University, there were other schools coming to train. Keio, Senshu, even, like, really good high schools would come in. I'm forgetting some. I'm forgetting some colleges right now. But they would train together. Like, the colleges would train together. It's as if, like, imagine if we went to a Menlo practice and trained. Imagine if we went to Stanford or Cal Poly. We do go to Stanford, actually, now that I think about it. But it's very, like, here and there. Like, they're on a consistent schedule almost sometimes.
Wow.
And it's very interesting. And I really, and the high schoolers are going, like, the really good high schoolers go to these practices. I really feel like that's one of the reasons why they're so good. They train with the best of the best, even if they're from another school. And to that point as well, they also have. No, I shouldn't say all this. I'll save it for the other part. Yeah. For when I answer a bunch of questions. But long story short, I feel like Japan was a great experience for me. I don't think I've touched on this, but I'm so grateful and thankful and happy that I made those videos in Japan, because I really feel like I was given an opportunity to showcase Japan wrestling in a time where everyone was curious. And I was like, I can't pass this up. Like, I have to do it for wrestling as a whole, for my media as well. Just showcasing wrestling in Japan, because no one's really done that. To be honest, we don't really see wrestling in foreign countries in the U.S. Like, there's no videos you can search up that are like that, because, typically we don't do that. There are people that go to Dagestan or in Japan and train, like Stefan did that, but, I mean, before I posted my videos, like, there was no content on Japan.
Yeah.
And I feel like us showcasing that was so cool. Like, I was so grateful that we were able to do that, and showcase what wrestling was like in an international country, having lived there for 3 months as well, like, really living the lifestyle. Like, we were in the dorms and everything too, so it was really cool. And yeah, just very, very grateful for the opportunity to do that. I'm so glad that we were able to experience it and document it and just live the life of a wrestler in a foreign country. And it was really cool. It was really cool. And it's funny now, I'm seeing a bunch of people, like, starting to post videos in Japan.
Oh.
Have you even seeing that? Like, everyone's traveling there now.
Yeah.
And I kind of knew that was going to happen too, because when we were planning our trip, we were actually planning on staying for 6 months.
Wow.
But what ended up happening was a lot of people wanted to start training in Japan after the Olympics. So they were having this, we were doing scheduling and everything. It's like, okay, we could do maybe 3. We could do maybe 3 months. And obviously, like, I'm pretty sure you've seen it, like, your favorite content creator or favorite wrestler might have already been in Japan training there, because everyone started booking their tickets, had some sort of connection, and headed out there. So it was really cool. It was really, really, really awesome documenting everything. And I'm really glad I got to showcase that to the world. I'm glad we were the ones that were able to do it. And I felt like I did a good job. Like, I was proud of what I created.
That's awesome.
But yeah.
Hell yeah. Save the rest for the next pod.
Save the rest for the next pod. But you got any closing remarks? You got anything?
It's good to be back, Now that we live together, it's going to be a lot more consistent. We're not going to, like, randomly post, like...
So much easier. It's going to be so much easier, bro. But, yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys are listening to it on Spotify or whatever. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. Ruben and I are very glad to be back. The HR pod is back in business. We're going to be getting some guests on. We're going to be getting some good podcasts rolling. I'll be knocking out that Japan podcast as soon as all the questions are done. We'll get the questions on a sheet. Ruben will ask them to me. Yeah, it's going to be good. Let me know if you guys have any other questions in the comments down below. If you guys want to hear more about my experience overseas, I'm glad to do them in the next video as well. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys later.
Adios.
Shoots, guys.